Welcome to my sacred space. Sometimes things happen in our lives, positive or negative, that are impactful and change us for the rest of our lives. Such an event, or events, because they kept happening and unfolding in the most spiritual and magical of ways, was when I was given a name of an individual, and for a while I just knew the name of that individual, as many do and did at that time, and I just focused on what their message was, and I learned from that. So this is a very long story in my life. It has continued throughout my life to this day, which I'm very grateful for and filled with joy about. Very fun times. But I'm going to share with you how the story began and how I was guided by Spirit, as always, and how it manifested in and through Spirit's connection. So sometimes we're guided to individuals, or we're guided to places, and we don't know why. We're either attracted to a place, a location, or a person, and we don't have the full knowledge yet as what it represents for our present moment and possibly the future. And such was the situation with this connection. So right before my 16th, 17th birthday, I can't remember if it was 16th or 17th. It's been so long now, sorry. I was given a path by Spirit to follow. And this was a path that I would get in the car, and I was told to take this path, and I was given a person's name. And so I took that path, and I noticed that in the car, I took this path, that I would feel a very strong resonance, which means I would feel a very strong anchoring of energy, that the direction as I got closer and closer to this location that Spirit guided me to, what this energy within me that represented peace, a great energy of joy, much bigger than the moment even, it felt universal, was present there, and it felt very familiar. And so I went with it. So on the day of my birthday, I got into the car and I drove to that path, down that pathway. And when I got to a certain location, I got out of the car, and I knocked on the door of this location, and I asked for that person whose name I'd been given by Spirit. And the person behind the door said, I'm sorry, this person doesn't live here. So that's my quizzical look. So I got back in the car and I thought, how can this be? Because Spirit has always guided me with great precision, if you will. And then I was just about to leave and just go back home, and when I heard, like in stereo sound coming out of the speakers of my car, literally audibly out loud, I heard, this person is close to you, try once again. So I got back in the car and I thought, forget it. I'm just going to go home. Forget it. And I heard like loudspeakers, if you would, in my car. Audibly, I heard it. This person is near you, and try one more time. So I remember grabbing the steering wheel and saying, okay, one more time. And then if I could have driven with my eyes closed, I would have, because I was listening with such detail that at the moment it felt like my eyesight was an interruption to that detail. And so I drove, and then finally I got to this location, and Spirit said, "You're here, pull over." So I pulled over, and I felt that energy that was swirling. Well, I was vibrating. I was vibrating all over my aura, all aspects of me. And so I knew that something was different from the other location, and I got out of the car and I walked over to the location, and it had many units and they all had numbers on them. And so I closed my eyes and I asked to see a number, which I did. And then I just walked up to that particular unit, and I knocked on the door, and the door opened, and without any questions whatsoever, I was invited in. And I'm standing there at that moment, and standing across from me is Shirley MacLaine. And we had a wonderful visit, and it was filled with love and light and a very deep connection of this world and of other worlds and past lives, if you will. My gratitude for Spirit for continuing my intuition to, and then kind of not yelling at me, but talking with me out loud in the car. Go, go, go. Don't give up on this. There's something here for you. And what there was for me there was not only a connection that I'm grateful for to this day, but a connection to Spirit in that particular day that was a validation and a confirmation and a gift, really, that when I was willing to give up on what my own internal guidance was, that I didn't give up, and I listened, and Spirit was there for me, and I allowed Spirit to be there for me because I listened. And whenever you're being guided in love, in light, in a sense of peace and well-being, even in excitement, if you will, there's something there for you. Whether it's about you, or whether it's for somebody else, or for your higher consciousness later on in your life that you'll understand, or an impact that stays with you throughout your life, whatever it is, follow that guidance, because it is absolutely worth it, and you are worth it. Thank you for joining my journey.